So in part 4, we will be talking about the refined assessment and learning tools. Here are the alignments of the instructional plan and assessment in correspondence to the intended learning objectives. Specifically, in the pre-task of Activity 6, the ILO 2, 3, 7, 9, 14, and 15 are met. And in the while task, the intended learning outcomes 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 14, and 15 are met. And in the post-task, that means the learning log homework, the intended learning outcomes 2, 7, and 15 are met.
And the activity 7 is about filling in the blanks. That it functions is diagnosis and support of learning, and the learning objectives is about 3, 7, 9, and 14. And for the vowel task of address writing, is about reading. Students reading comprehension skills, writing abilities, and which aligns with learning objectives of 4, 5, 8, 11, and 15. And for the post task, consolidate, which aligns with 4, 5, 10, 12.
For the activity sheet 8A and 8B for pre-task, it is fill in the blanks of support of learning functions and work to consolidate new learned knowledge. And ILOs 4, 5, 8, 15 are used. And for while task is worksheet and peer evaluation form, it functions as support and evaluate of learning. And it works as advanced use of personal information in filling forms and also evaluates students' understanding of peer monitor. 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 13, 15 ILOs are used. For poll task, it is a homework of evaluation and it is self-completion of filling the form without assistance provided by teachers and to evaluate the knowledge acquired in class. 1, 5, 8, 15 ILOs are used.
The following table shows the multidimensional assessment in all the 3 lessons, including cross-group evaluation under AFL, learning log homework under AAL, and summative homework under AOL.
And for the take-home assessment after justification, we have added the checklist and the rating scale for students to understand their mark range, and also written description and narrative to show students the mark range by applying the principle 1, 4, and 3. And for the formative assessment, we need to provide timely feedback to students and teachers in order to focus on the student center and gather real-time feedback and help to promote active learning for student center. And also, we aims to apply AFL and AAL for the formative assessment, provide timely and constructive feedback, and continuously monitor students' progress. Teachers continually inform of students' progress area for improvement to tailor instruction and also guide instructional strategies. And students can also cater the learning diversity by adding pre-text or activities. So these are the procedure of applying pre-text and also the activities for students in lesson 1 and lesson 2. For the summative assessment, so this is the example of the summative assessment as a short test. So summative assessment is supposed to be assess students' overall learning achievement and also by revising students' performance.
Next part, we'll talk about the collaboration between students and teachers, mostly learning feedback. As we all know, feedback is a critical component of effective learning, providing individuals with insights into their performance on specific tasks. And below is the provision of feedback throughout authentic tasks. The mode of assessment in activity 6 is observational assessment, self-assessment, and in the activity 7 is observational assessment, constructed response assessment, self-assessment, and peer evaluation. And activity A is observational assessment, peer assessment, and self-assessment. Firstly, the clear marking criteria in map reading, address writing, form filling could be resolved in the collaboration between students and teachers, which aligns with the principle 1, so as to help students narrow the gap between actual performance. And for principle 2, return students' work with rubrics as acknowledging their knowledge. Principle 4, therefore, students are aware of the criteria against which they are being assessed. And evaluation methods is another aspect of the collaboration. For the principle, which aligns with principle 5, require students act on feedback on how to improve strategies with encouragement. And principle 6, establish student self and peer feedback ability.
Here comes the focuses on learning processes between the original assessment materials and the refined versions. So for the teacher objectives, the refined versions will be able to enhance assessment for learning and assessment as learning, as well as diversify and multi-dimensional assessment tasks, and also to make use of different instructional strategies and follow the Bloom's taxonomy. And for how to provide feedback, the refined version carries various feedback methods such as self, peers, and teachers' feedbacks by providing correctional, motivating, and direction and target-oriented feedbacks. The teachers are able to provide timely and directional feedback to students' learning performances in assessments, and all these meet principle 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8, 9, 10. So for the assessment tools, with the assessment done by different stakeholders. So for the refined version, the variety is enhanced by effective use of AAL, AFL, and AOL, with the assessments done by self, peers, and teachers. And also for the self-evaluation, students are able to supervise the personal learning progress. For the peer assessment, they are able to learn from strengths and discover weaknesses from their peers. And also for the teachers' feedback, teachers will be able to give corrective feedback to allow students to understand the directions for their further improvements. And all these meet principle 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Also for the assessment rubrics, for the refined version, the rubrics are detailed and clear, which are easy for students to understand the requirements and standards while they're doing the assessments. And also it provides opportunities for the students to finish the peer evaluation form with clear criteria, and students can reflect on their learning performances, and also metacognitive activities are provided, so students are able to identify their prior knowledge and make use of the learned information. All these meet principles 6, 7, and 8. For the planning mode of the review on curriculum planning, the refined version combined the pre-test and post-test activities where original assessments and materials missing the pre-test and post-test. It also examines students' learning difficulties and prior knowledge, and as well as to enhance students' learning motivation and directive learning using the Bloom's taxonomy and scaffolding techniques. So for the cross-subject cooperation in the review on curriculum planning, the revised version are the same as the original assessment and materials, which are both focused on the general studies and English, but it enhanced the connection between the two subjects and the knowledge in use of the two subjects through sentence writings and related vocabularies, as well as adjusting students' learning difficulties and to review their prior knowledge. This meets principle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Okay, for the original assessment materials and the refined version for task design, there's too much extra information, no pretest, full tests, and unclear. So for the refined version, precise and concise instruction is provided. Pre-tasks are added and also post-tests. And for assessment methods, little assessment criteria is given and also to testify students' knowledge. So for the refined version, there is clear and measurable criteria with adequate amount of assessment with authentic elements that encourage students' life-wide learning. And for the last one, assessment from different parties. For the original one, there is no students' participation and no use for assessment for learning. And for the refined one, peer evaluation is added to encourage self-initiated learning by students and also their evaluation in participation.
So through reflecting the learning objectives, we can see that we have applied the Bloom's taxonomy to list the IOLS and also apply measurable action verbs in them. And for lesson design, we apply scaffolding and includes the pre, while, and post-task to ensure students can learn effectively by step. And for the assessment methods, we include free assessment approaches by implementing learning log for self-evaluation and record, cross-group evaluation, and assessment rubrics for teaching evaluation. And all the 10 principles for making assessment effective are achieved, and the 6 principles for giving quality feedback is also achieved. And to conclude, we understand that more emphasis should be put on formative assessment in learning. The scaffolding theory is also crucial in achieving effective teaching and learning, and student-centered learning should be facilitated. Most importantly, we understand that SBA is an indispensable tool in developing continuous and collaborative learning and to foster students' learning improvements. And as a future teacher, we should start equipping ourselves to become more capable in designing and implementing assessment plans. So this is our references. And this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.